Egypt Story, Part 1, The Dawn of Ancient Egypt, Narmer, Mot, and the Birth of a Civilization. Imagine a world without cities, without written history, a world ruled by the sun, the river, and the seasons, where life depended on the flood of a single river, and kings were more than rulers, they were gods walking among men. This is the story of ancient Egypt, the civilization that would shape the course of human history forever. Over 5,000 years ago, the Nile Valley was a land of opportunity and danger. Scattered villages dotted the fertile banks of the river. Farmers planted wheat and barley. Fishermen cast their nets. Herdsmen led cattle to pasture. Life depended on the Nile's generosity. Every year, the river flooded, depositing rich silt. A gentle flood meant abundance. A weak or late flood meant famine. From birth, the people learned to read the river, to understand its moods, and to live in harmony with its rhythms. This harmony was called Mot, truth, balance, cosmic order. It wasn't just a concept, it was a way of life. When kings governed justly, when the river nourished the land, Mot was preserved. When chaos struck, Egypt faltered. In the south, Upper Egypt thrived along narrow river valleys, fortified by desert cliffs. In the north, Lower Egypt spread across the Nile Delta, fertile and marshy, dotted with small towns. For centuries, these two regions developed separately, with different rulers, gods, and customs. Then came a man named Narmer, sometimes called Menes, the first king to unite Egypt. Narmer was ambitious, clever, and ruthless when necessary. He understood that unity was power. With armies, strategy, and determination, he conquered Lower Egypt and forged one of history's first nation-states. He wore the double crown, white for Upper Egypt, red for Lower Egypt, a symbol of a unified kingdom. This crown wasn't just jewelry, it was a statement: one river, one land, one ruler, one destiny. Narmer founded Memphis as the capital, a city where the Nile split into tributaries, the perfect hub for administration, commerce, and religion. Here, scribes recorded every transaction. Priests maintained rituals, ensuring the gods were pleased. Builders prepared monuments to honor the king and assert his divine authority. The pharaoh wasn't a mere mortal. He was Horus incarnate, the bridge between humans and the divine. His word was law, and his duty was to maintain Mot across the kingdom. Memphis became a template for governance that would last centuries. Trade routes were organized, military posts secured borders, temples rose as centers of religion and learning. But life in Egypt wasn't just politics and religion. Daily life reflected the balance of Mot. Farmers prayed to Hapi, the god of the Nile, before planting. Artisans honored Ptah, the god of creation, as they carved statues. Soldiers invoked Horus for protection in battle. Even ordinary villagers felt the presence of the divine in every act. Festivals celebrated the flood, the harvest, and the kings. Music, dance, and storytelling were woven into rituals. The Egyptians believed that the king's strength maintained cosmic balance. If the pharaoh ruled poorly, chaos, famine, rebellion, disease would follow. Power wasn't personal, it was universal. Narmer's unification brought more than political stability. It sparked cultural and technological innovations that laid the foundation for the Old Kingdom. Early forms of hieroglyphic writing documented trade, laws, and history. Stone architecture began to replace mud brick structures. Religious ideas crystallized, emphasizing life, death, and the afterlife. Narmer also inspired a model of kingship that all pharaohs would follow. The king as divine representative of the gods, builder of monuments that assert eternity, protector of Ma'at, ensuring the Nile's cycles and people's prosperity. Even small acts, irrigation, temple construction, military campaigns reinforced the vision of a lasting civilization. Yet unification was only the beginning. After Narmer, Egypt faced challenges, weak successors, regional rebellions, foreign invasions. Chaos threatened to undo centuries of order. But from turmoil came resilience. Egypt learned, adapted, and rose stronger. Next, we'll explore the first intermediate period, the Hyksos invasion, and the rise of the Middle Kingdom, a time of survival, innovation, and rebirth. The Nile's story continues, and the journey of ancient Egypt has only just begun.